Hey everybody, it's Mark again. I'm going to do something a little bit different in this video. I bought a American clock off my friend that I go see every so often. Some people call it a groaner clock. I don't know who made it. There's not a label in the clock. It might have been a apprentice to Eli Terry or Seth Thomas or somebody, but as you will see in this video, the reason why I say an apprentice, because there's a few things that I would have done different in this clock. I'm wearing one of Seth Linkbelter's shirts. I will leave a link to his YouTube channel at the end of this video. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel because it's free to do so. And I give such valuable information that I don't know why you wouldn't want to subscribe to see my next video. Anyway, kick back, relax, grab something to eat, grab something to drink, grab a cigarette if you choose to do so, and let's get started. This will be a two-part video, and you'll understand why as I go through this video. Now that I got the Lux cuckoo clock ticking away, and as you can see, it is still ticking away. I just don't have the hands on it, so the cuckoo's not playing, because it takes the hands in order to make the cuckoo play. But anyway, I'm going to work on this. I bought this off of a friend of mine. It's a wooden plate. Some people call it a groaner clock. I've never worked on one before, but I'm going to. So, as always, first thing we have to do is take the hands off. The door is going to need some repair, but there's a tapered pin on here to remove the hands. And I have to get the movement out. There's a nail here and one over here on this side to take this board out. And I think that's the thing to do if I could do it. One nail. Just trying to see is my issue. There's the other nail, and my camera went falling. Typical. So I should be able to slide this board up now to take the movement out. Or the dial plate off, sorry. And there we have the movement, which is held in place by two screws. Now there's a lot of different information on this clock as far as the maker. I was telling my friend that just because there's no name on this movement, if there is, I don't know if there is or not, it could very well be an apprentice who was, say, Eli Terry or Seth Thomas that made this thing. You never know. He didn't find a name on the maker, on the movement. I haven't looked. But there's two rollers up on top, just like there is with a typical OG type clock. And I've got a few of those. And then you have these strings to hold the weights. I had to take pictures because I wanted to see how the movement was wound up. There is a hammer right here with a gong. It's on top. So now I have to cut or untie these strings to get the movement out. So that's what I'm going to do now off camera. The movement is out. The top of the movement was held into place by this board, but you don't need to take it off once you remove that board. Here's the pendulum, the key that was with it, and the pendulum leader wire. So we'll worry about that case later. You want to make sure you take plenty of pictures to work on something like this. When I put pressure on the string, you can see the pendulum, the crutch is rocking away. Now these things take pretty heavy weights, and I found my weights, but I'm taking this thing apart just so I could clean it up. It's got a bunch of dust on it. And like I said, I've never worked on one of these type of clocks before. So this is all new to me. Looks like somebody used toothpicks to hold the plates together, which is fine. But as you can see, there's a bunch of dirt and crap in the pivot holes. So we're gonna take it out, clean it up, and hopefully it'll run better. And as you can see, there's a bunch of junk on the gears. Hopefully you can see inside there. But how many of y'all have a wooden plate, wooden gears movement? I have another one. but it doesn't have a clock case or anything that goes with it. The only thing that's going to be metal is the pinions themselves and hardware, such as a spring. So let's get to it. Pull a toothpick out here, a toothpick out there. This plate comes off. This wheel's got a pin in it. Get a washer to remind me to put that washer on first. And then it's got a pin in it that I have to remove. Then it looks like another washer. There we go. This washer, and then this is the tension washer. This gear here is what's going to control the drop of your hands, because it's connected to the main gear. Just like in a cuckoo clock, this would be known as the minute wheel with minute pinion on a cuckoo clock. And then this tension washer I'm going to see if I could pull these pins out and try to pull this plate off directly to get a good picture of what the inside looks like. But this here is stopping me, and I don't know if it comes off, if it's pressure fit on. Uh-oh, it's coming apart already. The hammer. We're just going to take it apart anyway. We got this steeple right here that we have to take out. I meant to show you all that. That is part of the oh well. It didn't want to do like I wanted it to do, so hopefully I'll be able to put all this back together. It had a wire, just like with the Lux cuckoo clock with the string, to advance the strike. trying to figure out where everything goes so I could show you in a picture. It's awful dirty, blowing dust all over the place. Anyway, here's where the burge and crutch assembly goes. Escapement wheel. This is the main wheel here. This is the time side. Second wheel. Escapement wheel. The burge assembly. And I'm not really for sure what that is. We'll figure it out later. It's a metal wheel where everything else is wooden. Here's the ply. But anyway, it's time to clean this thing up. Strike side. I'm going to clean it all up, and hopefully I can put it all back together. So far I don't see a maker's name on it. Time to clean. That wheel that's made out of metal, it's the escapement wheel. I thought one of these others were the escapement wheel, but I was wrong. That metal wheel is the escapement wheel. Some of these posts were loose. Something has to keep the movement together. So I glued that post back down. And I got this plate cleaned up, but now I have to take toothpicks and Q-tips to all the holes using my drill. Q-tip cut in half and my drill. They're cheap Q-tips. Well, we'll pick a hole. We'll pick this hole right here. You see the Q-tip? You see the hole? It looks a lot cleaner. Again, cheap Q-tips. But that's what I'm going to do. And then I'm going to take a toothpick and do the same thing. I got these bamboo skewers in my drill. You see how dirty that thing is? You keep on doing it until you're happy with your work, is all I can say. Time to change batteries in my drill. I'm happy with this plate. The holes look really clean. So it's time for the next plate. As you can see, certain ones, they put plates in, I guess for bushings. This wheel here, which is the count wheel, is removed by taking the spring, put into the side, and then it should come right off, which it does. This wheel here, which is the minute arbor center wheel, has got this groove on it, and honestly, at this point, I don't know exactly what that groove is for. For the gears, it looked like it had a bunch of glitter all over them. But what I'm doing, whether it's right or not, it's debatable. You've seen me talk about this before. I'm squirting some down on my table here, then using my toothbrush and going through the gears. Now once this is dry, I'll take another toothbrush and wipe it off if needed. But wood is like a thirsty person. Every once in a while, it needs a drink to make it healthier. And so, whether you use this Amish wood milk or New Life Furniture Mask or Old English Oil or whatever, it's up to you. It's your clock. You do what you want. But I think personally that any product would make the wood look a lot better without anything. Like I said, it looked like it had a bunch of glitter all over it. I don't know what it was, but it looked like glitter. Small particles of glitter. And this gear looks like it might have been repaired at one time, as there's a crack here, but I don't see a crack here. I'm not gonna bend it. I don't want to break it. But we're getting there. Hopefully my pictures that I took will show me where all these parts go. That is going to be the question. Here's the ply. You see all that stuff? It looks like glitter. At least it's getting a drink. There was a bunch of dust in this clock when I took the case out. There was a bunch of dust on this flywheel, this governor ply. Not no more. It's got its drink. I hope y'all are enjoying this video. I got the movement all cleaned up. Now I'm trying to put it back together. As you can see, I got the time side where it needs to be. But I still got to get the strike side where it needs to be. It is fun, fun, fun. Putting a piece of tape on the crutch assembly helps hold the verge kind of in place where it needs to be. And then you just go around just like in any other movement. Your goal is to put those toothpicks in the proper slots. And then find the high spot and get it into place. On this particular movement, the high spot is the escapement wheel. And of course the verge assembly. But as long as you took good pictures, you shouldn't have a problem putting it together. Here's his clock taken apart. As you can see, the wooden gears. Very similar to my clock, but different. His has got more metal in his gears than I do. But the plate design, it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pillars there, and mine does also, I believe. My pillars are 3 at the bottom, 2 at the top, and 1 in the middle. Figuring out where all these levers go, I know that this here lever goes right here. This goes into the count wheel here. And it has to go up through this hole right here. And then the bottom part, this notch here, would go into this wooden notch here when the clock is done cuckooing. This lever here is what trips it into cuckooing, and this lever here is what hits the gong. It goes sort of like that. This attaches underneath this wire. And then each time the great wheel spins, it catches this wire. But the issue is putting all this together. That's where I like the antique clocks that have these split plate movements. That way you could work on the time side and then you could work on the strike side. But I have to figure all this stuff out, put it together. And somebody, I don't know what they did, but there's some kind of coating on here. Maybe they repaired it at one time. I'm not for sure. But there's some kind of coating. It almost looks like it's plastic on this great wheel. And it's only on these teeth here. And then you could see this tooth right here is a little bit damaged. All these teeth here look different from all those other teeth. But we're working on it. There's been a few guys here lately posting these clocks within my group. If my clock was designed like this clock, it would already be put together. Here the escapement wheel and the verge assembly is outside of the front of the uh, front plate here, where my escapement wheel and birch assembly is in between the plates, and the bushings stick up just a little bit more than the plate itself. So it's throwing a little bit of fits, me trying to put it together. Now, if the plate was designed like other antique clocks, where the time side was split between the strike side, I would already have the movement together, but it's not. It's just one complete plate, so it's taken a while. Now I'm trying everything I could think of to keep all these gears in place. I got some tape on that those gears there. Hopefully they stay in place while I put the movement together. I've got Rodico on this piece right here that goes into the escapement wheel. It kept coming out of its hole. So, of course, I got tape on the birch assembly. So, like I said, the worst part is these bushings do not go flush with the case itself. So, it's kind of tricky putting the wheels in place. Here you could see I got Rodico throughout this movement, trying to keep everything in place, because right now the time side is in place, but I have to put the strike side in. So like I said, I'm trying to keep everything in place with this Rodico, so when I open up the plate here, that none of these parts fall out. And hopefully afterwards I could get all the Rodico out. So wish me luck. And because all the levers fell apart, I have to figure out how they go back in. This lever here is for the count wheel. That's what starts it striking. Just like in a cuckoo clock that has a count wheel. When the minute hand is turned, you should be able to see it here. There's the square wire. That in turn trips this long wire that's coming down to it, which in turn, hopefully you can see it right here. Here's that long wire, and it catches the trip wire for the count wheel. So when I turn the minute arbor, watch this wire right here. You see it move? That's because this square wire here is catching that long wire. You should be able to see it right in that area. Hopefully you can see that. And so this wire here is going to catch the third wheel warning pin. This wire right here to allow it to go into warning, and then this wire right here should catch these grooves to allow the clock to quit striking when it's all done. In theory. Now, I found this posting on the NAWCC, and it's talking about Eli Terry clocks. And this type of movement with the escapement wheel out of the front plate is called Eli Terry's wooden strap, wooden movement with count wheel. Now, this is a 5 arbor wooden movement with count wheel. As you can see, the count wheel is out of the case. And then it talks about in the early 1800s, they came out with this. This is upside down, but here is just like my clock, where the Burge and count wheel is inside the plates. And it says that this is a groaner movement. So my clock is a true groaner movement. And it says in the early 1800s, the economy ran a barter system. Anyway, it talks about groaner and Torrington movements. In the early 1800s, two alternative movements became popular and completed with Terry's movements. One is known as a groaner, which I just showed you, which is my clock, and the other one is known as the Torrington movement, again, where the count wheel is out of the case. And it says, in the groaner movement, because of the load sound it makes during striking, which resulted from a large wheel in the strike train during, and the loud bell on the outside top of the case, it's attributed to Chauncey Boardman, a prominent clockmaker in Bristol, Connecticut, and resembles a small 30-hour tall clock movement and sits on a seatboard. So it is an Eli Terry clock developed by Chauncey Boardman. And I will leave this link in the description of this video. Well, I hope that you stuck around and watched the entire video. And now you'll understand why it's a two-part video. I'm still trying to, I have to put the movement together. And it's such a pain. That's why I say that I think that it's an apprentice, because they designed the Burge and escapement wheel to where it's inside the clock, and it is such a pain. I'd rather work on a cuckoo quail clock than work on this clock. It is throwing fits, but I will get it. So stick around for part 2 of this video, and Let me know what you think of this video. Leave me some comments. Let me know who you think made it. Because honestly, I don't know. Anyway, don't forget to subscribe. And may God bless each and every one of you. Putting a piece here you could see I got Rodico throughout this movement, trying to keep everything in place, because right now the time side is in place, but I have to put the strike side in. So like I said, I'm trying to keep everything in place with this Rodico, so when I open up the plate here, that none of these parts fall out.